Chile, and we're sharing dance performances. And the reason I chose the picture was because for Greg and me, it's like a big milestone because we both turned 50 in this year, and we've been together almost 20 years. And I was depicting it as a healthy relationship because it looks like you can look at a picture and think all was smooth sailing, but in the 20 years there was lots of trouble. So the resilience was really important there. We really went through some hard times. And then we have these moments where we can just enjoy, having gotten over that trouble. And also, why I chose it too is because of the culture, because we both have a strong connection to that dancing and powwow and some of the traditions associated with that. And I think that's really important in our relationship and in our whole family relationships. And that's we have a lot of powwow family and people we care about. So they may not be like relatives by blood, but they're good relationships.
Yeah.
They're sometimes even closer than family that we have. So it's I like the picture. Just really.
Our home was very poor, according to some people. We had basic needs in this house. That's all we had. There was no such thing as couches. There was no hydro, no TV set. We had beds up here, big beds. This is where we would be. Traditionally, the bed was over here, where my parents slept.
Our relationship is nowhere near perfect. We have had some definite hard times. For all that we have been through together in the last 60.
But there were more girls. We slept like sardines. So there's a whole bunch of us. But the good thing about that is that because we were in one room, our dad would tell us stories at night, and until we'd fall asleep. Traditional stories of all different kinds. So to me, my childhood was good. It didn't matter that I didn't have beautiful things. Didn't even know they existed, actually. And I wasn't poor. Our mom was a good cook. She took care of us the best way she could. She made our clothes. She cooked well. She kept the house clean, which is passed on to us girls because we're all clean people. And so somehow they matched up. I don't know. One of them could have left the other one a long, long time ago, from the way, because that doesn't mean they didn't fight and argue. They did argue through the years, but they worked things out. And I think that's so important to know. As far as today's world, it's like people argue and fight, and next thing you know, the partner's gone. Not trying to work things out is the norm today.
Children need love and nurturing. Relationships need love and nurturing, like we all do.
After all the hustle and bustle and blowing the budget, even when we're dead tired, we're still extremely in love.
My daughter and my hand are on top of my mom's, and that's just to protect her as well.
Oh yeah, right. The one you got your daughters as well.
So the healthy relationship part of that is just, still learning from my mom, getting teachings from my mom that I passed down to my daughter, and then my daughter. It's the choice. She doesn't have to do those, but it's something that for her to learn, and if she wanted to, she could pass that to her daughter, or when the time's right, or talk to her. So it's always about giving us the opportunity to kind of live our lives, and whenever they need help or they need anything, that we're always gonna be there for them. It's just a matter if they wanted to talk, or they needed something, or they wanted to come visit, you know, even though they're out she's out on her own, living her life, she still has that family connection, and she still knows that family is very, very important to her. And she can choose how she wants to raise her daughter, or, you know, and to know, because I did grow up with seeing some violence, but knowing that love was still there, that forgiveness is there, and to know that, you know, you don't have to follow that path that they lived on. You can always change that. There's always room to change and to live a better life that you believe you want to live it. Yeah.
This is a family portrait which represents my family's spirit names and clan system. Within this picture, you see how we're all connected.
People forget what a privilege it is to be able to grow old with someone. Marriage isn't just a piece of paper, but an endless vow to love someone unconditionally for the rest of our lives. There is nothing that can compare to a sibling's love. They've known you since your grand entry into the world and will be there for your inevitable exit.
This is me and my daughter at my place. And this was last night. Abby and I were sitting there saying, we don't have a picture to bring in. We don't know what the word is.
Yeah.
You called and I asked you. And I wasn't really going to do anything. But then my grandson showed up. And he was waiting for his mom, which is my daughter. And she speaks up and she says, hey Grandma, why don't you come running out, and when Doris gets here to pick up her son, run out and give her a big hug. And I thought, that is so unusual for me to do. I can't do it. And so I didn't really answer her, but she kept saying, well, she's going to come anytime now, you know. And I thought, okay, geez, yeah, maybe this is a good idea. I grew up in a home where there was never any hugs. And as we all should know, we can't give what we don't have. And it's been hard for me to hug my daughters all these years.
Do you like some support, Doreen?
What?
You want some support?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm an old lady. So, I thought I'm going to do it. So these guys said, she's here. Then she wasn't going to come in. So my grandson ran out and says, I'll go get her, have her come and eat supper. Okay, so I hid behind the hallway there. So Doris comes in all cheerful, you know, talking away, and she's coming towards right where she's standing right now, and I come out of the hallway, and I said, Doris! I went like this, and I couldn't believe how she was reacting. I thought she would go, Jesus, you know. But I went over and I hugged her, and through the years, I've hugged them once in a while. It's never been really comfortable because you can't be comfortable with something you're not used to doing. But in this one, she wouldn't let go. And I just felt like I just want to cry because I feel that that's a real hug. It's a real hug. And I thought, okay, it is spontaneous. It is, for me, a truly important picture because of the feelings that went along with that. And I could see after the fact, I could see the picture and how happy she is also. I didn't ask her how she felt about it. And I thought of my other daughter. And I must do that. And again, we talk about, why, or what are the effects, why is this, why is that. I pretty well know why. I've done a lot of work also, like Allison, for myself through the years. And there's always something we need to fix with our siblings or our parents or somebody else around us. We don't know how long we have to be in this world. And if we want to go on to the next world happy, we have to do it now. And we have to pretend like there's no tomorrow. And that only, I'm thinking that way probably because of my age. And I could so truly feel the love in that hug. And I could not sleep last night thinking about my other daughter. Her and I have never ever truly hugged. There's so many other things I could talk about, what happened when they were children, the abuse that I had to go through with my partner, which is their father. I have never once told my children what I went through, because I know they love their dad. Their dads died. And I don't want to taint what they have. So I've kind of just kept it inside, and people that know me, the older ones here, know what I went through, but that's all. And to top everything off, we separated. We fought over my children. It ended up that my in-laws got the children. And so I didn't see my children for 5 years. And when I got them back, I was so happy, but they were estranged from me. I never ever felt that close. It's like somebody erased something in your heart that you can never ever repair. And I still have a problem with children between the ages of probably 5 to 10 years old. I just can't connect with them no matter what. That part of me is broken. So it's all of those things combined to today to realizing, hey, it is important to let my children know I love them. I show them those things, I try to, but not in a physical sense. And it has to do with life. It has to do with all of the things we go through in life. It has to do with our history, all the history that the Anishinaabe have endured, and probably other cultures as well. I'm just not going to say just Anishinaabe. But we got to try and fix things in our lives and let people know that we loved it, we loved them. I have no problem telling these guys. I don't know what the difference is. My grandchildren, I just love my grandchildren. They all know it. But with the older ones, I think we kind of feel like less than or something. I don't know what it is. We just cannot connect. Could never connect. But that's my next job. And thank goodness for this, because this is what I have to thank for helping me to allow to see a little bit more of what's going on with my life and my family. It's all I've got are my 2 daughters and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And yeah. Yeah, so I thought, well, I'd like to reshare this picture.
My sunshine, Owen Tyson Hunter, white spotted horse, at Wabshkishing Bejgogji, climbing a tree at Caboni Beach. His sweet smile gives me many reasons to look forward and thrive to keep him pure and happy.
Wearing my clan. Clan helps with healing and identity. It helps with self-esteem, direction, and destiny. Bear Clan is about healing and protection.
I'm going to talk about suicide. This is a picture of my daughter Julie. She died in 2011. In 2011 there was a rash of suicides in Wakamakong. There was 7, 8 suicides, and they were all very young people. And I remember the person before and after her. Very young children. There was one girl. When my mom seen the picture of the obituary of that little girl, she says, and what that means is, she said, look at this young girl. Beautiful young girl. So anyway, and then my daughter died by suicide. And then the other one after her was another young girl who had youth mental health issues. And living in this community, I see a lot of that today. I know about two youth that are in a mental health institution because they're threatening suicide. And those kids are the same ages as the 2 girls that I'm looking after right now, which is Destiny and Latoya. Julie died by suicide, and when she died, she left behind 2 little girls, Destiny and Latoya. And when she died, that was like 5 years ago, so they would have been like 7 or 8 years old. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to Julie. I'm gonna go back to the 2 girls that she left behind. This picture was drawn by the youngest one, and we all had to go through little minor tribulations, you know. When Jordan, you guys probably all know Jordan Trudeau. You know the story of Jordan Trudeau. Jordan Trudeau died when the phase of the supermoon. I remember that very well. I had a full moon ceremony in the bush, and I put it out on Facebook, and I said I'm having a full moon ceremony, supermoon, and only one woman showed up, but that was awesome. That was good. It didn't matter how many people showed up, but so this is Latoya. This is how she looked when her father was killed at the penitentiary. He was shot by a high-powered rifle. He was instantly killed. And just recently, like just to give you an update on that death, 5 guys have been charged for his murder through Jordan Trudeau. When I heard that, I just started crying. But anyways, we buried Jordan that year. And precisely about a month later, exactly 1 month later, we're burying my daughter Julie. Anyways, this little girl, we're sitting on the couch after 1 week we had buried both mom and dad. So anyways, we're sitting on the couch, and then she says, okay, She goes, I'm gonna go see mom and dad now. And I just got really startled. It just startled me. I was like, somebody pushed me. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I said, we can't go see them right now. I said, maybe later, but not now, you know? And then just thinking that she was gonna go see mom and dad after, that was just shocking. But anyways, so what I want to say here, what resilience to me is, she drew this picture, and of course it says Julie Beaudry and then Jordan Trudeau, X's and O's, and it's got this great big projection of the sun in the background, which is a really good thing because art and psychology, when you draw a picture of the sun, that's hope. That's hope for a child. And over here, she's trying to put down, we remember our family, lest we forget love in our heart. 2011, November, so, I don't know, 5 or 6 months after we had buried both of their parents. So this kind of stuff is resilience. Me standing here and telling you about what I just said is resilience. So that's it. Thank you. Anyway.
Picture I was taking not so long ago before the snow fell, and sometimes me and my friends will go down by the water and just check it out because in the summer we'd all wake up early. Well, not really early, but we'll just wake up around probably 12 or 11. We'll all meet together and then we go swimming, and then we come home around 9 or 10 at night. And we'll be like swimming for like 8 hours or something. And we basically have races, I guess.
Person alone, the contact with the earth. In this case here, it's a large boulder. There's a lot of strength in that as well. Individualism. Again, part of building on the strengths of the individual to get better, to move ahead.
It brings back a lot of memories for me because this is where we all went to and spent our summers. You know, right up until fall. Even when the water was really cold, we would still go down there and swim. We would swim all day, having races, and you know, just it was where I had the most happiness when I was a kid, was in nature, at the beach with my friends, with my cousins mostly. And I know my daughter goes down to the beach with her too, and like a few years back I would say, oh no, it's too dangerous, but you know, now that she's older and I know like Desiree's gonna be there and you know, other kids are gonna be there, okay. Yeah, and then I go and check it out, make sure everybody's safe. Marge is there. You know, like we all kind of, we all have the same supports, we have the same similar experiences, we're all strong and destined for great things and change. And I believe that maybe these girls will be politicians and help protect us and, you know, protect our natural resources. I would be really devastated, I guess, if my baby wouldn't be able to swim in that lake.
Resilience is seeing a child in regalia, in dance form, because it gives you hope to know the culture will continue, the beliefs we have will continue. When I see a person in regalia, they are the most beautiful. Resilience is never forgetting our ancestors and keeping our traditions alive through dances, songs, and ceremonies. Resilience is holding on and practicing our dances for our ancestors, despite the attempts to assimilate us through colonization. This is true resilience.
To dance is to pray, and to pray is to heal.
Well, I'll pass around one real quick, but this is resilience to me. I was in the hospital for over a month on my last pregnancy, and the morning that I was supposed to fly home to Sudbury to a local hospital, I was on bed rest. My plane was on the way, and I was in full labor, like 5 minutes the plane was going to be there. You know, they were supposed to load me up. And then they realized, holy shit, this lady's in labor. So I was gone away from home for over a month, and the delivery was just a few doors down from where I was, and they wheeled me in there. And, you know, I wasn't scared. I had put on a brave face. I was all by myself, and I didn't want company, because the last time I was in the hospital like that, I had delivered twins and they both died. So this was a preemie, had to be delivered C-section. All my family is, you know, away. So I was really brave throughout the whole thing. And then after I was, you know, I got to see the baby through a monitor, and he was 3 pounds 2 ounces, the exact weight of one of my other twins. So I was, you know, feeling, I don't know what I was feeling at the time, but the nurses were like, oh, you're gonna be okay, you know, like, oh, who's at home? You know, they were all really concerned for my family. I have 7 kids at home, you know, who's with them? Well, Kirby's with them, you know, I know they're being taken care of. They're in school, he gets them to school, plus he drives bus, you know, they're all fine, they're excited, they're, you know, as far as they know, I'm on a plane right now on my way home, so they can see us, or see me. And so my baby was delivered, and the next day, even having surgery, I didn't take nothing. I hopped in my wheelchair and I went down the floor because I was so concerned for him. You know, oh my God, I just need to see him. He's breathing on his own, and he's born with a full head of hair and a tooth. And this is the first thing I saw when I saw him. Like, they pulled back the blanket, and he was like so confused. He looked at me like this, and I go, oh my God. I said, hey, I know exactly what you're thinking. Where the hell am I?
Despite all the chaos that one endures, there will always be balance. This is what helps us to grow.
We have been through a lot together and have had 4 children in the 11 years since we have been together. We also have balance in these 11 years because we are still standing, raising 4 children with no jobs because we have records and with no family to help with our children. We help each other out.
My parents accepted one another for what they are, how they are. My dad here, and this is exactly what they look like. Well, not that easy. My dad was a man, very traditional man. He didn't go to school, and therefore his mind was all tradition, all about natural foods, natural medicines. His way of speaking was very old. My mother, unfortunately, was in residential school. They were total opposites. She carried a lot of anger. She was, I would say she was double whammy, because when my mother was born, very shortly after she was born, her dad died. And in those days, there was no such thing as welfare or mother's allowance or anything like that. So her mom had to work. And her mom left the baby with her older siblings to take care of the baby. And they couldn't do a good job. So my mother ended up having rickets. She couldn't walk. And my grandmother decided that she should give up this baby. There was no such thing as adoptions either. So she came to Wiki and gave up. She thought of a couple that didn't have children, and they took her in. Shortly after she was adopted, a few years down the road, the couple started to have children. They had 2 daughters. She was the oldest of the 3 girls, and she ended up being sent to residential school in Spanish. So you could always feel that in our home. You could feel that she had very low self-esteem, that being Anishinaabe was not a good thing. On the other hand, I had my dad. For him, it was all a good thing. So we had, to me, it was balanced. It was balanced in both ways. And knowing what they had to go through with each other, and for me to be able to see them standing like this all the time and being of support to one another all the time, to me represents the true love, the unconditional love that we should have in a partner. And goes to show they had 10 children.
Cool.